At some point, almost every podcaster and business owner has that moment of panic that I'm going to shut down my stuff. I'm done, overwhelmed. They look at their download numbers. They compare themselves to someone else, which let me tell you, half the stuff you see outwardly isn't the truth behind the scenes. And they start doing the math in their head. You think, if this was really working, the numbers would be higher. What numbers are we thinking about? Are you thinking about download numbers or the numbers in your bank account? So you're starting to chase more reach. You're on more platforms. You're getting more visibility, more growth hacks, more courses, more things. And somehow, even with all the extra content going out, you're still not seeing the numbers grow. It's starting to feel heavy. You're starting to get overwhelmed. And you're like, maybe I'll just go back to corporate. Don't go back to corporate yet. Remember, at the end of these episodes, I do offer you 15-minute action steps every single week that help you move your business forward if you take the 15-minute action. Yes, I'm here for you because I don't want you going back to corporate just yet. If you ever wondered why you can be showing up consistently and you still feel super disconnected from the results or how you're doing the things, this is going to be for you because growth doesn't stall when you don't have enough reach. It stalls when you're disconnected from your people. Remember, people first. People first. Who buys things? People. So stick around because I got you. Welcome to Podcast Story Selling. I'm Jen Dragonette. Here, we use your story to lead with connection before strategy. So your podcast doesn't just grow, it converts. And your business actually pays you without hustling harder. And the best part, we get to do it with ease because we focus on the right effort. So we've been taught to believe that the bigger numbers equals bigger businesses. And half the time we're looking at bigger numbers on accounts that aren't real, that they've bought their audiences. I mean, you can see it outwardly more on social media than you can on podcasting, right? Because like maybe you see someone and they're like a 0.0% podcast, or maybe they're even on the top 200 of all Apple podcasts. Let me tell you, I had a client reach the top 200 last year, and I will be completely honest with you. They still only get maybe 2,000 downloads per episode. I know that's a lot, and you're cringing because you're one of the people that is in the top 50 who's getting more than 20 downloads per episode. Remember, top 50% are getting only 20 downloads per episode, and that number continues to go down. But here's the thing. More downloads doesn't mean more success. More followers doesn't mean more authority. More reach doesn't mean more revenue. If that were true, a lot more people would be making a lot more money. Here's the truth. And no one's going to tell you this, like I'm going to just punch it out right now. Download numbers don't equal revenue. Relationships do. Let me say that for those in the back. Download numbers don't equal revenue. The relationships you create do. I've seen it with several podcasts with, modest listenership generate consistent clients, referrals, and opportunity. Hey, I am raising my hand. I have been in the top 3% for years now. My numbers aren't big. I'm in the hundreds, not the thousands every episode. And I'm still generating because I have focused on people first. My referrals from people that I've met through my podcasting or through my production company is probably what fuels 90% of my business. I've seen podcasts with super impressive download numbers. I'm talking thousands and thousands of downloads per episode. And you know what? They're not converting that into sustainable income because they're focused on the wrong thing. Their difference isn't necessarily quality. It's not necessarily consistency. And it's not even the niche. It's because they're not connecting with the human on the other side. This is why story is so important. This is why going deep and hitting that emotional level through story is so, so, so important. When your podcast becomes a place where real conversations happen, everything changes. They're not just listening, they're engaged. They want to talk to you. They want to share. They want to introduce you to other people. They want to think of you when opportunities come up. They think of you as a best friend. I know I've had so many of my clients when I meet them in person and go hang out and do all the things when we do our catch-ups normally annually, that they're like, how'd you know that about me? How'd you know that about me? It's because I listen. A lot of your listeners are your best friends that you've never actually met or talked to. That's the key, the connection. When your podcast creates that connection, people are like, I love this person. Your fans. Think of like the person that you listen to all the time. That mentor that you've had over a podcast that you've never actually talked to. You know things about their life. You feel connected to them. They've woven in personal stories into their business, right? That's how your business actually grows. So if you have 10 people listening to your show, you could actually convert at least 9 of the 10 people if you get them into your content and make that piece connect. But you've got to make sure that what you're doing and what you're offering is aligned with what you're talking about, where it all goes into this beautiful funnel of actually connecting to the other human. We're not talking about virality or chasing algorithms. Trust is not going to compound through all that stuff. This is the shift from number thinking to people first strategy. How do you normally connect with people? You have a conversation. Hi, I'm Jen. Nice to meet you. Back and forth. Get to know them. Because one engaged listener who feels connected to you is worth more than thousands of passive ones that are never going to take the next step or refer you to someone else or share you with someone else. Because that one engaged listener doesn't just consume your content, they participate in it. They feel good about it. They become your collaborators, your referral partners, your clients, your advocates. Even if they haven't worked with you yet, when they have a friend that says, hey, I'm doing so-and-so, and they're like, oh my goodness, I listened to a podcast the other day. You've got to listen to this. It happens because you have hit their subconscious mind and you have become their friend without even knowing about it. And when you build that kind of trust ecosystem, it stops feeling like you have to chase and create all this extra content and show up polished. Growth starts feeling fun. Connection starts feeling fun. And I've lost that. I did for 222 episodes. Feed Your Business with Love was almost 100% a interview show. And I miss that. You will start getting more interviews on this show. I might relaunch that one, keep this one solo strategy and start bringing that one back. But that's how I built my entire business. And I mean, I'm not going to say that I'm making hundreds of thousands of dollars every year, but I am comfortable living in Northern California in a small home by myself. So I'm doing okay. Am I paycheck to paycheck? Yes. But that changes when you do people first. I am comfortable. I am fortunate. And I know there's a lot of things going on in the world that doesn't happen. But when you're hustling so hard and you're struggling and you're in that strategy of like, oh my goodness, I know I've been there. Like, how can I make more money? What do I need to do? Pumping out the content. You forgot about the key thing is that person on the other end listening to you. So every day conversations are going to outperform visibility. And here's something that social media is never going to tell you. Algorithms do reward attention, but the business is going to grow on those relationships, on those conversations. A viral post might spike your numbers for the day, or fill your podcast, get you more downloads. But you know what? I, again, saw this with big accounts that were hitting millions of views on TikTok. And then all of a sudden we'd see the podcast spike way up when those viral moments hit. But you know what happened? Within 3 weeks, they settled back to their normal number because they weren't the right people. That viral post did have a spike. But a meaningful conversation can change the entire trajectory of your business. Real conversations lead to referrals, guest invitations, collaborations, long-term clients, and repeat buyers. Because you're talking to the person. You're taking the strategy of how do I get to more people? How do I go viral? Look at me, to how can I help you? How can I get to know you? How can I make you my best friend? When you're building a community instead of chasing metrics, you stop feeling like you're just shouting from a rooftop saying, come look at me, come look at me, come look at me. Maybe you're wearing a sexy little outfit, who knows? But you're not just screaming to no one. You're not just creating content for strangers anymore. You're showing up for the people you know, recognize, and care about. Or you're turning those strangers into someone who know you, want to be with you. Case in point, I just started doing sourdough. I know I'm 6 years late to the game, but that doesn't matter. You know what that brought me? Multiple people in my calendar doing CPR audits. That's 30 minutes with me. It's not a sales call. If at the end of the 30 minutes you want to work with me, we can talk about it. If not, you got 30 minutes and I helped you clean up one thing. Podcastcpr.com. But anyways, I have so many of those. And from there, I have a new production client and I have a new coaching client. And it's literally because I started posting my life about sourdough because I had an injury and I couldn't keep golfing. So here we are doing sourdough. It's protecting me from burnout because I'm focused on people, on things that I like, and people are enjoying what I'm doing. And then they remember you and they're like, oh, she does podcasting. Oh, she does business strategy. Oh, I should reach out to her. Oh, I have a friend that's launching this. Because when you're building that, that's what matters, right? You're showing up for people. Community gives your work context and a place that feels real. We get lost with AI because they're so easy to create so much content right now. So give it the energy that's you. Connect with the people. That's what's sustainable. That's what's going to give you growth. Whether you're looking at the numbers or not, if you have 1,000 downloads and you have not converted one person per episode, would you rather have 10 downloads and convert 9 of them? That's what happens when you connect and create super fans. And this is where podcasting becomes incredibly powerful. Your podcast isn't just a platform, it's a relationship builder. Whether it's people coming in, whether it's, you having guests, whether it's you being a guest on someone else, it's all about people. Because every listener, every guest who stays in touch, remember, if you're not staying in touch when you're a guest, whether you have a guest on or you've been a guest on someone, you are losing out amazing opportunities for referrals. Every conversation that continues after the episode is part of your growth strategy, whether you label it that way or not. Let's slow this down for a moment and talk about the power of one. One engaged listener who feels understood will listen to every episode, share your work with their friends, refer you without being asked, trust your offers and want them, and find a way to be in your space, and they're going to defend your reputation. That's the kind of trust that cannot be scaled by an algorithm. That's the kind of trust I want to build. It's about one relationship, one person at a time. This is also why community is the antidote to burnout and to pod fade. When you're chasing numbers, nothing is ever going to feel like enough. But when you're building relationships, progress becomes visible and tangible, and you can feel it in your soul. You can feel the impact, and it changes the way you start to show up. So as promised, your 15-minute action step for the week is your connection audit. Ready? Set a 15-minute timer. Start by looking at your last 10 points of actual human interaction around your podcast or business. This could be DMs. This could be anything. This could be a listener who messaged you, guests you interviewed, people you replied to, DMs, comments, or somebody who shared your work that you know about. From that list, choose one person who showed genuine engagement. Not the biggest name, not the most strategic connection, the one that actually gave a crap. Now create one simple follow-up touch point. This could be sending a genuine thank you message, leaving a voice note. Voice notes are great right now because most of the time they're actually real human voices and people are like, oh my goodness, they actually gave a crap. And they hear your voice and it touches a little deeper. We know when you're in someone's ear, you kind of get in their subconscious mind. Share a collaborative idea if you want to collaborate with them. Reshare one of their episodes. Maybe you put them in the story. Maybe they have their own podcast and they were on yours. Like, share something of theirs. And if you don't want to share it to your main feed because you're on social media, share it to your stories or drop a mention in your podcast. Work with that intention. No pitch, no agenda, just connection. This trains you to value the relationships over metrics and reminds your nervous system that growth doesn't have to feel transactional all the time. And I double dog dare you to every week do 15 minutes where you're actually doing this. You're following up with one person. You're creating that connection deeper. If you want to grow faster, do more of this. So if growth is feeling exhausting right now, it's probably because you're trying to scale for intention instead of trust. Algorithms are going to constantly be changing. Platforms are going to shift. Trends are going to burn out, but your relationships compound and build the business that you desire. Community doesn't just grow a business. It creates a stable, comfortable launch point every single time. And when your business is built on connection, showing up stops feeling like pressure and you start feeling you're participating. People are craving real connection right now, which is why everything I do, whether you buy a course or you do anything, always ends up with a one-on-one touch point because I got to talk to you because I like talking to you. So if you need help turning your podcast into a connection-driven growth engine, I do offer a free CPR audit. It's a free 30-minute call with me where we look at your podcast and your business together. There's no harsh sales, no pressure. If after 30 minutes you want to talk about working together, if not, That's fine too. You get to pick my brain for 30 minutes and give your podcast and business a little CPR. Let's resuscitate what's already working and help you build a community around it. Because again, people first. Next week, we're talking about guesting for growth, how conversations create clients, and how you can be a thoughtful guest on the right shows to build trust, visibility, and revenue faster than any other content strategy alone. Now go out and make today amazing, because you are beautiful, you are wonderful, you are worthy, and your story deserves a microphone. Now go do the thing.